when they come in adverse contact with laws which are fitted to the average of their race, that are most capable of these strange developments. The man or woman who can really love and endure, and they are rare, can also, when their passion has utterly broken them, turn them to climb the stony paths that leads to love's antipodes. "Edward," she went on, "you know in what relation we have stood to each other, and all that that relationship means to women. You know that I have loved you with all my heart and all my strength and all my soul, that your voice has been music to me and your kindness heaven." Here she trembled and broke down. "You know too," she continued presently, "what has been the end of all this, the shameful end. I am not come to blame you. I do not blame you, for the fault was mine, and if I have anything to forgive, I forgive it freely, and whatever memories may still live in my heart, I swear I put away all bitterness, and that my most earnest wish is that you may be happy as happiness is to you. The mistake was mine, that is, it would have been mine were we free agents, which perhaps we are not. I should have loved my husband, or rather the man whom I thought my husband, for with all his faults he was of a different clay to you, Edward." He looked up but said nothing. "I know," she went on, pointing to the picture over the mantelpiece, "that your mind is still set upon her, and that I am nothing and less than nothing to you. When I am gone you will scarcely give me a thought. I do not know if you will succeed in your end, and I think that the methods you are adopting are wicked and shameful, but whether you succeed or not, your fate will be what my fate is, to love a person who is not only indifferent to you, but who positively dislikes you and reserves all her secret heart for another man, and I know no greater penalty than is to be found in that daily misery." "You are very consoling," he said sulkily. "I only tell you the truth," she answered. "What sort of life do you suppose mine has been, when I am so utterly broken, so entirely robbed of hope, that I have determined to leave the world and hide myself and my misery in a sisterhood? And now, Edward," she went on after a pause, "I have something to tell you, for I will not go away, if indeed you allow me to go away at all after you have heard it, until I have confessed." And she leant forward and looked him full in the face. "I shot you on purpose, Edward." "What?" he said, springing from his chair. "You tried to murder me?" Yes, but don't think too hardly of me. I am only flesh and blood, and you drove me mad with jealousy. You taunted me with having been your mistress, and said that I was not fit to associate with the lady whom you were going to marry. It made me mad, and the opportunity offered, the gun was there, and I shot you. God forgive me. I think that I have suffered more than you did. Oh, when day after day I saw you lying there, and did not know if you would live or die, I thought that I should have gone mad with remorse and agony." He listened so far, and then suddenly walked across the room towards the bell. She placed herself between him and it. "What are you going to do?" she said. "Going to do? I am going to send for a policeman and give you into custody for attempted murder, that is all." She caught his arm and looked him in the face. In another second she had loosed it. "Of course," she said, "you have a right to do that. Ring and send for the policeman. Only remember that the whole truth will come out at the trial." This checked him, and he stood thinking. "Well," she said, "why don't you ring?" "I do not ring," he answered, "because on the whole I think I had better let you go. I do not wish to be mixed up with you any more. You have done me mischief enough. You have finished by attempting to murder me. Go. I think that the convent is the best place for you. You are too bad and too dangerous to be left at large." "Oh," she said like one in pain, "oh, you are the man for whom I have come to this. Oh God, it is a cruel world." And she pressed her hands to her heart and stumbled rather than walked to the door. Reaching it, she turned, and her hands still pressing the coarse blue gown against her heart, she leaned back against the door. "Edward," she said in a strained whisper, for her breath came thick. "Edward, I am going for ever. Have you no kind word to say to me?" He looked at her, a scowl upon his handsome face, and then by way of answer he turned upon his heel. And so, still holding her hands against her poor broken heart, she went out of the house, out of Boisingham, and out of touch and knowledge of the world. These two were, though she knew it not, once and once only, fated to meet again in after years and under circumstances sufficiently tragic. But the story of that meeting does not lie within the scope of this history. To the world Bella was dead, but there is another world of sickness and sorrow and sordid, unchanging misery and shame, where the lovely face of Sister Agnes moves to and fro like a ray of God's own light, and there those who would know her must go to seek her. Poor Bella, poor, shamed, deserted woman! She was an evildoer, and the fatality of love and the rush of her quick blood and the unbalanced vigour of her mind, which might, had she been more happily placed, have led her to all things that are pure and true and of good report, had combined to drag her into shame and misery. But the evil that she did has been paid back to her in full measure, pressed down and running over. Few of us need to wait for a place of punishment to get the due of our follies and our sins. Here we expiate them. They are with us day and night, about our path and about our bed, scourging us with the whips of memory and mocking us with empty longing and the hopelessness of despair. Who can escape the consequence of sin, or even the misfortune which led to sin? Certainly Bella did not, nor did Mr. Quest, nor even that fierce-hearted harpy who hunted him to his grave. And so goodbye to Bella. May she find peace in its season. End of chapter 37.